It's this hard for me. If it was this hard to be believed.
Number 20, Joss Whedon. Millions of fans were disappointed when this Hollywood favorite was brought down from his moral high horse. Joss Whedon, known for creating seminal fantasy works like Buffy the Vampire Slayer and The Avengers, often included progressive themes in his projects. However, his political expression has been extreme.
Joss Whedon abused his power on numerous occasions while working together on the sets of Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Angel.
He often resorts to violent metaphors to express his criticism of conservatives. He also admitted to having a specific distaste for the word feminist.
I hate feminist. Is this a good time to bring that up? Is this the right forum for that?
However, this wasn't enough to cancel him. That happened when actors Ray Fisher, Jason Momoa, Charisma Carpenter, and many others accused him of toxic behavior and power tripping. He has since been lying low.
Telling New York Magazine, "I don't threaten people." Who does that? English is not her first language, and I tend to be annoyingly flowery in my speech.
Number 19, Ezra Miller. There was a time when the after-school actor was hailed as an LGBTQ+ icon. They are a part of the community and have never hesitated to show their pride in the same. Furthermore, their support for the #MeToo movement earned them the title of woke from the media. However, their career hit a nadir when they got involved with a slew of violent incidents. This included claims that they choked a woman, committed theft, threatened people, and behaved inappropriately with minors, among other allegations.
Because these allegations are coming from the parents of an 18-year-old.
Miller eventually apologized for their misconduct, opening up about their struggle with mental health issues. However, their reputation is nowhere close to being restored.
I want to apologize to everyone that I have alarmed and upset with my past behavior.
Number 18, Meghan Markle. The Duchess of Sussex is not exactly a media darling. However, her leftist politics are not to blame. Instead, she has been slammed for having double standards. She puts considerable effort into raising awareness about climate change and then turns around to hop on a private jet.
So getting on 4 private jets in 11 days, which is what Harry and Meghan did, they're going to come in for criticism.
Similarly, she prides herself on her philanthropy, but is known for reportedly having lavish spending habits. Even her Netflix show, with Love Meghan, was criticized for being tone deaf by outlets like The Guardian.
I don't think anyone in the world knows that Meghan Markle has eaten Jack in the Box and loves it.
It's so funny, too, that you keep saying Meghan Markle. You know I'm Sussex now.
Similarly, Meghan advocates for social justice and mental wellness, but was once accused of creating a toxic work environment for her royal staff. So even if she is being sincere, it comes across as performative, and she doesn't give critics any reason to believe otherwise. Number 17, Alyssa Milano. The Melrose Place actress is known for supporting causes like gun control and animal welfare. She was also one of the pioneers of #MeToo.
If women could just come forward and say "Me Too," just 2 beautiful words that Tirana started.
However, when she stood behind Joe Biden during the 2020 US presidential election, despite Tara Reid accusing him of sexual assault, it made followers turn their backs on her. To add to that, her charmed co-star Rose McGowan claims she was the reason why the show's set was, in her words, toxic AF. Holly Marie Combs further alleged that Milano got Shannon Doherty removed from the show.
I've been thrown a lot of curveballs.
In another instance, fans called her out for attending the 2024 Super Bowl after raising funds for her son's baseball team days prior. Clearly, her wokeness wasn't enough to overlook her wrongs.
We were always made to feel like we were in competition with one another.
Number 16, Noel Clarke. The British creative took the entertainment industry 1 step forward and 10 steps back. He fought for inclusivity on screen and demanded that production crews consist of individuals from diverse backgrounds.
And it's not just about race, because I did say in my speech that underrepresented. It's also about class.
His work in British film and TV was highly regarded and won him the BAFTA Outstanding British Contribution to Cinema Award in 2021. However, the honor was short-lived, as he was hit with accusations of sexual and verbal harassment by multiple women that same year.
I vehemently deny any sexual misconduct or criminal wrongdoing.
He was suspended by the BAFTA, and so was his award. As of April 2025, Clarke continues to deny the allegations of misconduct made against him.
Pardon me, when they were like, give us one fact, nobody could give any facts.
Number 15, Justin Baldoni. It's ironic that someone who hosts a podcast called Man Enough went on to be accused of sexual harassment.
Speaking of that, so I have a question. So the show's called Man Enough. What does that mean to you?
Justin Baldoni prides himself on his progressive views about gender roles and masculinity. He has worked with the Tahiri Justice Center to support female immigrants affected by gender-based violence. However, his spotless image was tarnished when Blake Lively sued him for alleged sexual misconduct on the set of It Ends With Us. The New York Times also claimed that he conducted a smear campaign against the actress. Baldoni denied both claims and countersued Lively alongside her husband, Ryan Reynolds, for defamation.
Justin denied Blake's allegations and filed a $400 million lawsuit against her and her husband for alleged extortion, defamation, and other alleged wrongdoing.
He threw another lawsuit at the NYT for libel. The jury's still out on whether Baldoni was wrongly blamed, but his reputation has been marred.
Just because you're a power couple doesn't mean you can just bowl your way over and take over people's lives.
Number 14, James Corden.
Last week there were stories about me.
The talk show host rose to fame for his friendly personality. He had been open about growing up in a humble household and facing taunting, which endeared him to his audience. During the COVID-19 pandemic, when his Late Late Show employees had been dismissed, he paid them out of his pocket. However, this gentlemanly facade slipped when he was accused of being rude to the waitstaff at the renowned Balthazar restaurant in New York City and was banned from the establishment.
I made a rude comment, and it was wrong. It was an unnecessary comment. It was ungracious.
Then, director Craig Duncan claimed Corden had been harsh on him and a writer on the set of A League of Their Own. Mel B also called him out for not being, quote, very nice. Ultimately, his improper attitude became impossible to ignore.
We all work for the same thing, so you should always be nice. And he hasn't been very nice.
Number 13, Russell Brand. The English comedian's wokeness has gone hand in hand with the more offensive parts of his personality for as long as we can remember. Up until the COVID-19-induced lockdown, he was known for his liberal views. He was famously anti-establishment, environmentally conscious, spoke out against capitalism, worked toward destigmatizing substance use disorder, and pushed egalitarianism.
It was more complex than that, Conan, but you've disrupted the anecdote.
Spirituality was also a major part of his public image. However, in recent years, he's adopted a distinctly anti-woke persona, turning into a right-wing conspiracy theorist of sorts. Politics aside, several women have also come forward with sexual misconduct allegations against him, one of the earliest instances of which reportedly dates back to 1999.
Hey, look at my driver, I'm gonna have sex with her.
Despite this, his social media influence has continued to thrive.
I've never engaged in non-consensual activity. I pray that you can see that by looking in my eye.
Number 12, J.K. Rowling. The Harry Potter author's switch up from a beloved icon of love and friendship to an intolerant individual spewing constant contempt against the transgender community is baffling. She has publicly opposed trans rights and claimed that the societal acceptance of transgender women undermines cisgender women. All this coming from someone who has championed women's reproductive rights and donated generously to causes supporting women is even more shocking.
She creates a 7-book fantasy series about all types of mythical creatures living in harmony with wizards and elves, and the one thing she can't wrap her head around is Laverne Cox?
Rowling is also infamous for reinforcing racial stereotypes in Harry Potter, despite preaching equality, representation, and inclusivity in real life. If that wasn't bad enough, she has taken flack for apparent body shaming too. No wonder loyal fans and even the main trio of HP, Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, and Rupert Grint, have distanced themselves from her.
To all the people who now feel that their experience of the books has been tarnished or diminished, I am deeply sorry for the pain these comments have caused you.
Number 11, Neil Gaiman. The downfall of this once revered author came completely out of left field. Neil Gaiman was celebrated for his representation of the LGBTQ+ community in works like Good Omens and The Sandman. He was dedicated to advocating for refugees all over the world and was recognized as a staunch feminist.
I had gay friends, I had trans friends. I wanted to see them represented in the comics that I was writing.
However, it all became meaningless when several women, including a former nanny for Gaiman's child and an ex-tenant of his, came forward with accusations of sexual assault against him.
At the time I was in those relationships, they seemed positive and happy on both sides.
The carefully curated woke empire he had built came crumbling down, leaving nothing but disgust in its wake. Number 10, Shia LaBeouf. If you grew up with Even Stevens, Holes, or the Transformers movies, you likely know this versatile actor well, which makes some of his adult choices harder to stomach.
Oh yeah.
LaBeouf has been outspoken in political activism, using his eccentric performance art to express his views. Notably, he co-launched the He Will Not Divide Us project in 2017 to protest Donald Trump's inauguration. However, his personal life has been riddled with controversy, including arrests for disorderly conduct and intoxication. More seriously, 2 former partners have accused him of inappropriate behavior. While LaBeouf has made efforts to turn his life around after embracing Christianity, the industry is understandably skeptical about his values.
I've just received a lot of love since coming in here. You know, I don't have a big family until today, it felt like. It's like everything came together.
Number 9. Asia Argento. This Italian actress and director was a major voice in the #MeToo movement after accusing Harvey Weinstein of sexual assault.
And I think I was the first one to go on the record. And I said, give my name to the other women, because I felt it was a moment of my conscience that woke up. And I knew it would wake up all the other consciences.
In 2018, she took the stage at Cannes with a fiery speech calling out industry predators. But just months later, things took a messy turn when actor Jimmy Bennett accused Argento of assaulting him when he was a teen. Argento denied any wrongdoing, but was linked to a $380,000 settlement meant to keep things quiet.
She is one of the faces of it, and I think, you know, that's why a lot of people are shocked.
Then, leaked photos and texts suggested something did happen, and Argento was ultimately dropped from X Factor Italy. Needless to say, it was a shocking turn of events for someone who had been at the forefront of such a major movement. Number 8. Amber Heard.
To my dying day, will stand by every word of my testimony.
When the Aquaman actress opened up about allegedly suffering domestic abuse at the hands of Johnny Depp, some saw it as an act of tremendous courage in line with the #MeToo wave. She was a humanitarian known for her goodwill, and fans quickly rallied behind her. However, Depp sued her for defamation and won, reportedly revealing that she had been abusive in their relationship. Not only did this lead to intense outrage against Amber, but it also affected the movement she had become a representation of. Tarana Burke, who founded Me Too, asserted that it did not deal a death blow to the fight against sexual misconduct. That said, the fact that she had to clarify this proved that some damage had indeed been done.
I behaved in horrible, almost unrecognizable to myself ways. I have so much regret.
Number 7. James Franco. Celebrated for his roles in films like 127 Hours and The Disaster Artist, Franco has aligned himself with progressive causes.
If I can have a career in this business, so can you, man. I don't want a career.
He was a 2013 recipient of the Ally Award for his outspoken support for the LGBTQIA+ community and expressed support for the sentiments behind the #MeToo movement.
One of the things that I've learned is that this is a conversation that obviously needs to be had. There are people, women and others who have not been a part of this conversation, and I truly believe, and why I was wearing the pin, is that they need to be a part of this conversation.
In 2018, however, Franco faced scrutiny when multiple women accused him of misconduct, alleging that he behaved inappropriately with them in several settings, including acting classes where he had served as the instructor. The controversy led to a major career fallout, with Franco stepping away from the spotlight for several years.
I suppose at the time, my thinking was, if it's consensual, okay.
Number 6. Chrissy Teigen. Political activism is a major part of this model and television personality's reputation.
You really are outspoken. You're not scared of anything. No. You'll say exactly how you feel. Yeah.
Teigen has frequently used her platform to raise her voice about a variety of sensitive topics. What's more, she's been the first to criticize certain individuals and call out what she sees as problematic behavior. That is, until Teigen's unproblematic queen status was dramatically soured in 2021.
You felt like you weren't talking to anybody. You just threw things out there. You didn't feel like anyone was going to read it.
Model Courtney Stodden revealed that Teigen had sent them abusive messages in 2011. Others would come to accuse Teigen of similar online harassment. This, of course, starkly contrasts with Teigen's persona as a proponent of kindness and peace.
I feel like I've done the work, and I just hope these people can, forgive and be able to, welcome the fact that hopefully they've seen me be better.
Number 5. Lena Dunham. Although some have hailed the creator of the TV series Girls and the newsletter Lenny Letter as a feminist icon, Dunham has also faced some major criticism throughout her career.
I'm aware of the criticisms, and I'm able to live with them.
In her 2014 memoir, she detailed childhood experiences with her younger sibling that many perceived as reprehensible. Furthermore, in 2017, Dunham defended Girls writer Murray Miller against sexual assault allegations from actress Aurora Perrineau, suggesting such accusations are often misreported.
She's getting a lot of criticism right now because she's been very outspoken before with believing victims, and now in the case that involves her friend, she's saying that we shouldn't take the victim at her word.
She would later issue an apology for the statement. Additionally, her 2016 comment that she wished she had terminated a pregnancy to empathize with others drew sharp rebukes for its insensitivity. These instances highlight a disparity between Dunham's advocacy and personal actions. Number 4. Armie Hammer. In his early years, Hammer cultivated an image as a progressive and socially conscious individual.
This is the most incredible story I've ever heard. I also thought this is the most American story I've ever heard. It's the rise against tyranny. It's the oppressed feeling that they deserve freedom. Like, this is what our country was founded on.
The actor has expressed support for various social justice movements, aligning himself with causes advocating for equality and ethical treatment. But this all came to a halt in 2021 when multiple women accused Hammer of violent, manipulative, and coercive actions.
I will say this. There are people that I left who were hurt and who were upset. None of those people were hurt or upset because I pushed any sexual boundaries that they weren't interested in exploring or trying.
Are you sure about that?
Although he denied these claims and no criminal charges were pressed, Hammer found himself up against a public relations crisis. Not only did the allegations against Hammer challenge the authenticity of his previously championed values, but they also included a creepy cannibal rumor.
I experienced a ego death, a career death, a financial death, all of these things, right?
Number 3. Jussie Smollett. Although he had previously enjoyed moderate success as an actor and activist, Smollett's career was largely overshadowed by a certain incident.
Breaking overnight. A law enforcement source familiar with the investigation tells NBC News that Chicago police are now looking into whether Empire actor Jussie Smollett actually paid 2 men to fake an attack against him.
You know which one we mean. In 2019, Smollett claimed to be the victim of a racist and homophobic attack in Chicago, drawing national attention and support from various figures.
Then I look down and I see that there's a rope around my neck, which I hadn't.
You hadn't noticed it before?
No,
you didn't
because
see?
It was so fast. You know what I'm saying? It was so fast.
How long did this all
It felt like minutes, but it probably was like 30 seconds.
But it wasn't long before investigations determined that he had staged the attack. This led to criminal charges, and he was convicted of disorderly conduct for filing a false police report. The controversy surrounding this case has become the defining moment of Smollett's public life.
I'm okay with accepting responsibility for things that I've actually done. I'm just not okay with accepting responsibility for something that I did not do.
Number 2. Ellen DeGeneres. Oh, Ellen, what happened? As a rising star in the 80s and 90s, DeGeneres' entire image was one of kindness, acceptance, and lighthearted fun.
It's a beautiful thing to have emotion. I'm happy that you're that happy.
She broke barriers as an openly gay celebrity and built her brand around the motto, "Be kind." But behind the scenes, things weren't so wholesome. In 2020, reports emerged that the Ellen DeGeneres show fostered a toxic workplace.
The biggest common thread that everyone told me is that what goes on behind the scenes is a far cry from what the show represents in their Be Kind messaging.
Former employees accused Ellen of allowing and even contributing to a culture of fear. For someone who lived by the phrase, "be kind," these revelations were a shocking contradiction. While DeGeneres issued an apology, the damage was done, and the once beloved talk show host saw her reputation take a major hit.
Let me give you some advice out there. If anybody's thinking of changing their title or giving yourself a nickname, do not go with the Be Kind lady. Don't do it.
Number 1. Kanye West. This famously self-assured rapper has long positioned himself as a fighter of progress, once famously declaring that George Bush doesn't care about black people in response to Hurricane Katrina.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
Over the years, he aligned himself with various causes and spoke out against systemic oppression. However, his later actions painted a very different picture. From publicly harassing his ex-wife Kim Kardashian to making repeated anti-Semitic remarks, West's behavior became increasingly erratic and troubling.
So the answer to why I wrote White Lives Matter on a shirt is because they do. It's the obvious thing.
Despite once advocating for marginalized communities, he's also alienated many with hateful rhetoric and conspiracy theories. How could someone who once called out injustice become an apologist for it?
I think there's a left agenda to silence anyone that goes against the agenda.
Do you think woke celebs are held to higher standards of morality than others? Share your thoughts in the comments down below.
Could I ever love you more? Could I ever love you more? Could I ever love you?
You're crazy.